I'm starting a new architectural project today, and these are the things that I need when I'm starting. I tend to start with the concept development, and I would need my brief, project brief for the client. It details everything that we've gone through, project overview, design objectives, architectural features, room allocation, and sustainability considerations, as well as there's spaces that need to be within the project. So these are the spaces that the client has provided, and as an architect I've also added a few things that I believe that they would require. So that's that. So that's the brief. And then we got the mood board. So I put together a mood board. The clients who send a few pictures that they like, I'll also add a few pictures that based on what the client has described to me, I'll add a few more pictures to it. I also go forward to create a Pinterest board that I share with my clients. It's a private board, and they can add pictures as the project proceeds. So I've got my mood board, and then we got the sites plan. I tend to definitely need a site plan for that. They provide a site plan which we use for the projects. I'll then have my site plan. I tend to do this graph where I put a site plan what I'll use for my site analysis later on. So I've got this, and then as we develop it, I like using a lot of graph paper. So I've got these graph sheets that are to scale. The first one is not to scale, this is to scale. So I've got an A4 graph book here that I use. I've also got an A3 size graph in case when I want to go a bit more detailed into the spaces like the rooms, the living area. I want to blow it up a bit and detail and sketch out the spaces into a bit more detail. I use the A3 for that, so I can basically draw them out possibly in 100 or 1 in 50 depending on the size of the project. So I've got that. I've also got another graph sheet. So this is actually realized this breaks down to a few more boxes, so giving a bit more accuracy when sketching these spaces out by hand. I believe in doing these things by hand before you get onto the computer and start drawing AutoCAD. It just makes it easier, believe it or not. It makes it easier and faster as my design process. So I use a lot of graph sheets. And then I've got my tracing paper. So once I start doing the changes, I use my tracing paper to do all these changes from the site analysis onto the floor plans, the space layouts and all that. I use my graph sheet. I've got a roll. It's a really big roll. I got this a couple years ago and it's lasted all this time. So it's quite good. It's very light, it's very durable as well, and I really like it. So this might go to tracing paper. I've got my rulers here. I've got a scale ruler, I've got a typical ruler here. I like this ruler a lot. It's very rigid because it's a metal ruler. You don't have the edges basically bending, or you haven't jigged edges like you have with a plastic or a wooden ruler. So I like these metal rulers a lot. Same with the scale rulers. I like them when they're metal. It's also got a really nice look to it anyway. So yeah, that's that. Got I think this is masking tape. So this is what I use for taping down my my tracing paper onto my table. I've got a glass table here, which I like. It's very smooth. It allows me to do a lot of work nicely. So this is the table I tend to do most of my concept design drawings on, or sketches on. Masking tape is here. Put this here. And then we got colored pens. So colored pens just to highlight, just to like write out, just to identify a few spaces. At least you got different colors, you can color coordinate them so that every single color means something or different space. So I've got that. Then I've got my marker or pen or black pen. So it's got a two-ended one, which I like. It's got the felt side here, and then you got the pen side on this side, which is really good. It's a really good one. And then you definitely need your pencil. So I've got my mechanical pencil here, a Rotring one. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, I saw that one out. What did that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. So, yep. Yeah, so I've got that. So I probably need to change. I think that's broken. So I probably need to change the pencils or the lead. Sorry, the lead in it. So I've got my refills here that I use, HP that I use 0.7. As you can see, it's a 0.7. So I've got my refills here that I use for that. What else we got? Got my Sharpie pens further down the line. Got my Sharpie pens that I use for my sketching stages, or sometimes throughout the entire design stage, but at least for the concept development and the site analysis stage, I've got my Sharpies over here. And then put this here. I've got my pens here. So I've got different size pens over here, the various sizes. So you can see 0.5, we've got a brush, a thicker one, we've got another brush here, I think we've got 0.8. I've got a 0.6 here, I've got a 0.2, so 0.3. So different sizes for obviously different tasks and different, sometimes you got my eraser here. I know over here in this country, in the UK, some people call it rubber. I call it eraser from where I come from. So yeah, I've got that there. Sometimes you want to add a bit more line weight to your sketches or your plans whilst you're doing them. I've got my pens here. And then once I start going on to put a bit more color into it, I've got these here that I use. So these are something for my sketches, my concept sketches. Beautiful pens that I've got here. I've had this for a while now, and I really like them. I use them all the time for my sketches. So there you have it. I believe that's about, oh yes, most importantly, how could I forget? I've got my AirPods, because you can't be working without listening to something. I like to listen to music or a podcast. So yeah, there we go. So these are the tools that I use when designing, especially at the early stages or at the start of a project, which I'm about to do now on our new project. So stay tuned. I'll try and get as much content as I can for that as well. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you've got any questions, if you want to know something, that I've just mentioned over here, if you want a link, you also want to buy, you want a link, let me know. I'll send you a link to buy, and they're not expensive, believe me or not. They're not expensive, and they last quite a long time. So yeah, hope you enjoy this.